Yes guys, this is Nitty Last and welcome. In this video what we're going to be doing is another Stealth Class setup video, but this time guys we are going to be focusing on the Argos. Now for me in particular, this is my most favourite out of all the shotguns. It works extremely well, it really does, and it has actually been buffed in some of the latest patches. They've increased the maximum damage range and that on this particular weapon, and it does kill at some very good distances. It really does. Now what we're going to be doing, like I say, is going to be making this into a nice stealthy class so we can sneak in and around the map, trying to keep the enemies guessing as much as we possibly can. So with the first attachment we're going to be using is obviously the suppressor, as you can see. Then we're going to be moving on to stock. Now with stock, especially when I'm up into close quarters, this along with the SMGs works exceptionally well in this game. It really suits this game very well. Being as mobile as you possibly can, especially when you're coming up into corners, be able to get this weapon up into ADS and just be able to strafe around the corners, because as soon as you catch someone with this slug pellet straight away into those closer areas, you're pretty much 9 times out of 10 going to down them straight away. Then moving on to the next particular attachment is going to be a rapid fire. Now as we know, this is a single shot, so we're going to be trying to cycle through those bullets as fast as we possibly can, because if we get a hit marker, say on the first shot, we definitely want to have the next shot in to try and put that particular enemy down. And also if we do come across multiple enemies at once, with it being a single shot, it's going to give us a greater chance of actually downing all these particular enemies. Now with the next attachment that I've actually got in this particular gameplay is long barrel. Now with the range with this particular shotgun, it's not that bad. Obviously once you stick a suppressor on it, it's going to take away the effective range on this particular weapon. Now in this particular gameplay, as you're seeing now, this is me running with long barrel, but in the next one that's just going to be coming up now is going to be me running it without long barrel. Now for me in particular, I found that once I was running without the long barrel, I did get quite a few hit markers, but it can still work to your benefit, as you could be seeing in this particular gameplay. But sometimes I felt that it just let me down just that little bit more, because with some of the particular, obviously the SMGs and the actual shotguns and that, it doesn't really add that much range on when you actually stick on long barrel. And for me, I thought that it was a bit of a waste of attachment, but once I actually stuck it on, it did benefit the weapon just a little bit more. But that's not to say that it doesn't actually suit this weapon without it. In this particular gameplay, what I'm actually running with is with quick draw instead of actually the long barrel as well. So it is a bit down to personal preference and you kind of like playing style, but obviously the further that people are away, it's just going to obviously put you at a bit more of a disadvantage. Now moving on into the perks. Now with the perks, we're going to be running with, first of all, Ghost. This is obviously with the Stealth Class setup. This is going to help us get up into the enemy spawns, flanking around into different locations, try and get as close to the enemy as we possibly can, and just trying to down them straight away. Now, moving on into Perk 2. Perk 2, we're going to be running with Fast Hands. Now, depending on whether you swap out your long barrel for your quick draw, this is obviously going to work in 2 different ways. I mean, with just long barrel on with no quick draw, obviously Fast Hands is going to work quite as well. But in regards to that, it still works very effectively. You can still try and get this weapon up quite quickly, but also just use stock more to your advantage. Strafe in around corners, you know, up into ADS a lot more than what you usually would, and you'll find it very easy to use. Then moving on to the next one. Now the next one is, for me personally in Perk 3, is going to be Blast Suppressor. Now what I found with Blast Suppressor straight away is that I could actually jump up onto the top of walls and that. Like, obviously the enemies are not going to hear me jumping around, and that way once I come into those medium ranges, I could catch people a little bit by surprise. What I found is if I was constantly boots on the ground all the time, I come into certain ranges, and if people come popping around the corner with say like a KN44 or a VMP or anything else like that, I sometimes got a little bit caught out. So for me personally, the Blast Suppressor was the better way to go rather than Dead Silence. But coming up on your screen now is my actual class setup. Now this is the one that I first of all used in the first particular gameplay, so pause it, go stick this in create a class. Like I say, swap out maybe long barrel for quick draw if that's more of your personal preference. But what I did find was this was definitely the better way to go trying to run this Argos in a stealth class. It does work very effectively, as you've seen by the particular gameplays. So if you give it a good couple of goes, I'm sure you enjoy it straight away. So anyway guys, this is going to come to the end of the video. Make sure you subscribe. We've got lots more different types of class setups and everything else, including all the news for Call of Duty 2016 on my channel. And also guys, if you could drop a like on this video and support me, that'd be even better. This is Nitty Last, and I'll catch you later.